Hi grade 10s, welcome to this video. Today we'll be doing page 116 to 117. On 116 you have your instructions and information. It's basically your information sheet. So what they're given, we are given an incomplete floor plan of a granny flat with outlines of the walls and the incomplete foundation detail up to the floor height. We are given also the window schedule and then the door frames, which is the side, and then we are also given a table of electrical fixtures and symbols, as well as your sanitary fixtures. So we're going to start by converting our dimensions to the scale. In the instructions for the floor plan, we are asked to draw using scale 1:50. We need to complete everything here, divide each and every dimension that is in this floor plan by 50. I'm going to do that off camera. As you can see, all dimensions have been converted to scale 1:50. Now I can start drawing the floor plan. So I'm going to start by drawing a rectangle, this outline in construction on page 117. So I have my length, which is 103 this side and 131 this side. So I'm going to use those two to get my rectangle in construction. You are not given a starting point. That means you can start anywhere as long as it's not too high as well as too low. So I'm going to just ensure that I start just not too far from this. And then I'm going to measure on that line, I'm going to measure 131. So I'm just going to mark it on each side, just there. Then I can now extend this point up and then measure 103 on each. So once I have my outline, I am told here that the wall thickness is 230. As you can see here, it says that it's 230, which is 4,6. I'm going to place it in the corner, measure my 4,6. I only measure it once, as you know. Then once you've measured it once, you use the 45-degree method to transfer your wall thickness. So on each corner, you're going to get a 45-degree line, then transfer it to the other side. This is still done in construction. I know my construction lines may seem a bit dark, but that's only because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So all I have done here is ensure that I project my wall thickness around the draw. Once I have my wall thickness, now I'm going to get my internal wall. As you can see, the room is 2.7, which is 54. So I'm going to measure 54. Then from that 54, I will measure the 2,52 because that's the thickness of the wall. So I'm measuring from outside. 54, making sure that it's straight. Then I'm going to bring it down like that. And then in order for me to get to my wall thickness, I need to measure this to add these three: 12, 18, 16, and that should give me 29. So that means from here all the way to here is 29. Right? 16, 18, 12. Let me check. 12 plus 18 plus 16, oh, it's 46. I was wondering, 29 looked too small. So you add 1, 2, 3, 12, 18 plus this, you get 46. 4, 6. I really like to use my compass because it's just accurate. And with a floor plan, you want to be as accurate as possible. And you see that I'm measuring all these wall thickness and everything from the outside. Then my wall thickness is 2,52. 2. It's 1, 2, then between 2 and 3. I'm going to have my wall there. And 45. And just like that, you now have your walls. From here on, I'm going to start inputting my windows. So what the windows, we are told here we have this window, which is 1518. That means it's this big window. We're going to start with that, and it's 1800. If you add these three, you should get 1800. To get to that window, I must measure 33,5. You can see in the floor plan 33,5. Then I will put the position of that window. So 33,5 is between 33 and 34. I'm going to place it here and then mark it. And that is where my window is going to be. Then the length of that window is 36. So from here I can measure 36. So that's how it is. Then once I have my windows, my first window, I'm going to draw it. Then the rest of the windows, I will just be projecting to get to them. So I'm going to make my window sill about 1 millimeter out. Because they didn't really say anything about the window sill. So we'll just make it 1 millimeter out. Then outline the window sill. And then for the frame, we will also make it a millimeter. So remember, for the frame, you have to measure you have to use the wall thickness. You have to use the wall thickness for the frame. So let me just zoom in. So we want to focus here. So on your wall was 4, so here I used 4. Then I'm going to measure half of that wall. From where that half is, you're going to go 0,5 out on each side to get that one. 0,5 on each side. Then from there, you should get your first line for the frame. This is too big. Then, yeah, this is fine. Then your second line, which will then make up your frame. Let me just thicken this line. It looks like a V line. So now that's what you have. So this window is what's going to get us the rest of the windows that are on this floor plan. And there's about, I think, 3 more that we need to do. We have 1 here, and we have 2 on this side. So I'm going to now project all these 1, 1, 1 to this 45-degree line. So I'm going to extend my 45-degree line here. Once it's extended, I'm going to project the window sill and my 2 lines for the frame. Like that. Then in order to get to my window here, I need to measure 12 millimeters. That's where my window will start. I'm going to project first the window sill line all the way to the other side. Then I will extend that point where I marked 12. And then my windowsill size is the same as this one. So that's the only thing I'm going to be measuring, which is 36. Then I will outline it there. Once I have outlined it, now I can project these 2 points where they are touching the 45-degree line. You almost outlined that. When we come here, and we have our frame, then we're going to go around. So that means we need to draw another 45-degree line here. So where my 45 is, and you can see my windowsill line is already touching that line there. Now, in order to get to the first window that is here, I need to measure 21. 21. And I go from my corner there, and I will extend my frame line, making sure that it's directly on it. I need to make some space for my pencil. Then I extend that line across. And this is where I'm going to start my frame. And these 2 windows are 900, meaning that the size is 18 millimeters. So measure 18. So that is my windowsill. Then for the frame, once again, I'm projecting from this side to the 45-degree line. And where it's touching the line, I'm taking the points up. There. And I can outline them here. And then lastly, I'm going to get my last window here, and to get to that window, I need to measure 16 millimeters. I come to the corner and I mark where 16 is. And there, then it's the same size for this window, which is 18. I just transfer the distance to here. then I can just outline the frame. There are my windows. Now with my windows done, I need to get started with the two doors that I have. We have an external door and an internal door. So external, internal, and we are given the profiles of the door frames of the two. So I'm going to get started with the external door frame. I just need to convert the dimensions to. So all the dimensions here have been converted to the scale. Now I'm just going to get started with drawing the profile. So in order to get to the profile, to the door, I need to measure 9 millimeters away from the window. That's where my door starts. So this is my 0. Then 9 millimeters is here. So I'm just going to ensure that I extend this. And then the space for my door is 900. It is 18. Once again, I'm going to measure 18. Then that is the space for my door. So with now me knowing the space for my door, let me just extend this wall. Then also extend it to the side. So at least I know that my wall is here. My wall is here and my door is in this space that I now need to use to draw the frame. So with the frame, we use the center of the wall. So the center is between your frame length. So this is my center. I'm just going to sort of darken it there. Then I'm going, as you can see, it is a height of 2.7, width of 2.7. So I'm going to go half of 2.7. So it's quite small. I need to make sure that I'm just going to make it 3. At this point, it's just going to be too small and I won't be able to see anything. So I've marked 2 dots there, which are about 1.5. I'm going to transfer it to the other side, like that. Once it is transferred, then I can measure this. I can now measure this 0.6 on each side. From where the wall is, 0.6. This side as well, 0.6. So it's closer to 1. And then once we have that 0.6, we can now measure that 0.9 down there. From the bottom, 0.9, just make it 1 millimeter at this point. So I'm going to try to outline what I have so far. And then going down, from here, I need to measure 1.8. From down here, 1.8. Everything here is so tiny. This point, just go with it. So that is the door frame for the external door. Then my door is going to be this space. Its thickness is going to be this space. So I'm just going to make sure that I just project this little space up so that I can move and stuff in. So this little space up here, so to outline like that. Take your compass, open it from here to the other side. And draw the door. And that is your door. So now let's get to this door here. We are not really told what's the distance from the wall to the door. So just ensure that as soon as you turn, that's where your door will be. And then the door is still the same, which is 19. So you'll measure 18 for the door. And then that's where you're going to get started with the little door frame. This one is going to be quite small. I'm just going to do my best to try and do it with the ruler, but if I can't, it's just going to be freehand. You can only do that if you're actually good at freehand. If you're not, I would suggest that you do your best to do it with the ruler. So this is the door profile that we will be looking at, this one. So as you can see already, it's way, way smaller from the other one. I think I will just be doing it. So I did it off camera because I did it freehand, and obviously you have different, everyone has a preference. So please, if you have time, do it with the instrument. It's going to take too long because it's quite very small. So I don't like wasting time. But this is just, remember, for demonstration purposes. If you have it as a formal task, please follow the correct steps to do the door frame. So I'm just outlining the internal wall, as you can see there. So I just outlined the wall. Now I'm going to start putting in the fixtures in. So with the fixtures, we have a countertop here, which is 600 countertop. So I'm just going to measure 12, and I'm assuming that it starts in the wall. No, it doesn't actually. So maybe just a millimeter away from the wall, from how it is shown. It doesn't start directly on the wall. Then I'm going to extend this 45-degree line inside. And we are told that the countertop is 12 millimeters. Measure 12, draw a line. Then it starts just by the end of the wall. I mean, it ends just by the end of the wall there. So where my wall is ending, that's where I'm going to put it there. So that is the countertop. So on this countertop, we have to put in some things. Let's see, what is it that we are required to put? So they put 8, 2, 1. So 1 and 2, as you can see, they are electricity things. Then 8 is a sink. So we need to put in a sink, and the dimensions for our sink is here, which is 24 by 10,2. So that's where we're going to put our sink. We put the sink in the middle of this space inside. So you get to measure it. It's about 40 where 20 is. I'm going to measure my middle. And then, because the length of my thingy is 24 from that 20, I'm going to go out by 12 on each side. Then that's where my sink will be. And then we will also get the middle of the 12, which is 6 millimeters. This is your 6 millimeters. Where your 6 is, you will measure 5 on each side. Right. 5 on each side. Yeah, that's 5. That's also 5 there. So we can now draw the sink. So you use the centers, both horizontally and vertically, to place it in the middle of the countertop. Once you've gotten the middle of your countertop, now we need to place it exactly as it is seen there. They didn't really give us the inside of the tub, but we still need to sort of show it. So we will just maybe go out a millimeter out, like get half of your 24, which was here, right? Once you've gotten your half, you're going to go in, 1 in on each side. So I'm going to measure 1 millimeter out. And I extend it, use my 45-degree method, get my 1, take it to the top, use it this side as well, to the top, and then you can now outline the inside where you've measured your lines. But I'm sure you saw that I only measured once, and then I used the 45-degree line method. There's your sink. Then where's my D? It's here. I put my circle there. I'm not sure if they said we should add the abbreviations. Yes, add the abbreviations of the symbols. So I'm just going to put S, because that is where my sink will go. Once I have my sink, I can now go into here, and you will see that we have 10, which is a toilet. We have 9, which is a shower, and then 11, which is a basin. So we need to put a toilet, a shower, and a basin. Sorry, and the dimensions are also given here. So we'll be using these dimensions. So our shower is 16 millimeters by 16. So we get 16 here, not 15. And we come and place it and then mark it. So my shower starts directly there. That means this wall should have been a bit smaller, but that's fine. As long as it's not directly on the door swing. And then still on 16, I just place it here and then mark it like that. Then I close it off. My shower there. Then my toilet. I'm putting it in the middle of the space. 30, 15. Then toilet, I'm going to go out by, let me see, it's 500. So it's 10, which is 5, 5 on each side. So 5, 5. Extend it down. And then the top part that has the water is 5 millimeters. And then its overall length is 17. So it fits directly there. Just out by 1 millimeter. Then that's your toilet. Then for the wash basin, I'm going to draw a line in construction here. I'm going to use the middle of this line to get my wash basin. It's 2211, which is there. And the width of my wash basin is 11,7, which I will just treat it as 6. Making sure that it's not directly on this corner there. And then going to be 9 millimeters here. Then you will get your basin. Then you have to, they said you must label them. Then W, B. Once that is done, we can now add our electrical fitting. So we know there's electrical fittings because of this key here. So here, by 1, we need to add a distribution board. A distribution board looks like this. So we are going to add it here by 1. You just try to be as accurate as possible. It's not too big. It's also not too small. And then by 2, we have a switch socket. Obviously, because you have a laptop, you must have a switch somewhere so that you can plug your appliances. A switch socket outlet, which is a 2. So a switch socket outlet will be this one here. It's an outlet, so it's this one. So you have to be able to plug your stuff. And then at 4, we have a ceiling at 2 times. Oh, we're still at 3. At 3, we have a ceiling light. It's going to be an X. Then at 4, we have a fluorescent light, which is just going to be, once again, not too long. And then they said 2 times 40. You have to write that. So you will see all these lights that I'm busy drawing here. This is your fluorescent light. This is your ceiling light. This is your wall-mounted light. And then at 5, we have a wall-mounted light, which is somewhere outside here by the door. So our wall-mounted light is here on the wall. And then 6, we have 1 pole light switch. We're going to put it here at 6. And then at 7, we have a 2-pole light switch. So those are your lights, your ceiling, then your 1-pole, 2-pole, then 8, if we've already done that. So those are your switches. You must now do your best to connect them. So the connection must be shown. We need to have another ceiling light here at 3 because I didn't see it. So the ceiling light will be connected to there, and then this one will be connected to here. And then a pole, we have a switch here as well, which is a single pole, which will be connected to this ceiling light. So now that we have our ceilings, we can now name our rooms. This room here, we have a lounge. We have a lounge and the floor finish tiles. Then we have our bathroom, which is also tiles. Then we have our kitchen, which is also tiles. And then lastly, we need to draw our step outside. And the step, they said it's 900 by 5. So it's 900 by 5. So it's going to measure 10 millimeters. And 5. This is too big. Let me check again. We have 10. And this is my 5. Okay, spending. It's the same size as the space of the door. So you are told that it's 2 steps outside that you need to show. And then because it's steps, you obviously need to show the arrow pointing up to indicate that it's a step. Immediately label it floor plan, scale 1:50. Once now you are done with everything else, adding your fixtures and labeling, you can now finish off outlining the wall. Now to add your cutting plane, you can see that it's cutting through there. It's also cutting this window on this side. So you extend your walls, including the external wall. Once you've done that, choose a starting point, and then you can now start adding your foundation. So with the foundation, we already have the dimensions converted to scale. You need to draw something that looks like this. So this is incomplete. We have to complete it. The foundation slab for the concrete slab for the external walls is 14, and then for the internal it will be 8. So from the middle of my wall here, so I need to measure my wall, get the middle, then from there I'm going to go 7 out on each side. 7, and this is my 7. Same thing this side. From the middle, which is here, 7, 7. I can project up, and then they all have the same height, 5 millimeters. So that's 5. So it's also going to be here. And then this one, it's 8. So from my middle here, I'm going to go 4 out on each side. 4, 4. So that is your concrete. Then from the concrete, we must now measure to the NGL. The NGL from the bottom of the concrete to the NGL is 10 millimeters. That's your NGL. Once you now have your NGL, we now need to get the compacted hardcore and the concrete. So as you can see from here to where your compacted hardcore ends, it is 4, which means you have to measure 8 from this point. There, and then your concrete slab, that's where it's going to start, which is 500 from there going up. 500 is 10 from this point going up 10. That's where my concrete will be starting. Let me just get the middle of my wall on each side. So that I can know where my concrete will end. So the concrete starts there, goes all the way into the middle of the external wall. It goes through the internal wall. And then here, you're going to have our hardcore filling. Stops there. And then that space that's remaining, it's going to be our undisturbed earth. So our undisturbed earth will just start up here. Let's get our walls. So this is to just show you that is where I will be ending. So showing that it's incomplete, it's incomplete, it's incomplete, and I can outline. Then the finished floor level will just be about 0.5 millimeters. The finished floor level will be there. Then we need to add our DPC so that it helps with the, make sure that you darken it. So that will be your DPC. Indicate that this is the FFL, DPC, NG, L. From there, I'm going to now add my hatching. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you in answering this question.